You have to document the trainings that you've had, such as tonight. That's why we're doing it on video. You have a training tonight telling you how important all this is down. I see a lot of people sitting here with like, oh my gosh, how are we going to keep in business? You're going to keep in business by, number one, don't talk out of turn. Number two, watch your computers. Make sure that when you're at home and the kids are taking those computers to school, if it's on your personal computer, hopefully not, but if you have access and you're working from home, who else has access to that information? If you take trip sheets home to put them into the computer, who's seeing this information? I don't care if it is your husband. I don't care if it is the neighbor's kids. If they can read and they can see a name, hey, Ma, did you know that such and such? You're responsible. You are responsible. You make your company responsible. Your company's responsible. Your company needs to succeed. To succeed, you have to do your job. Now, as far as the trip sheets go, again, you're doing well. I will be sending you more information regarding the new cuts, because they did cut back on some of the documentation. You'll see it in the back there. See the LCDs right there, sir? You're looking at them now? There you go. So those LCDs have been cut. You have emergency, you have non-emergency. Nothing? Okay. You have emergency and non-emergency transports. What the coding did for that is they split it. They don't think that 90% of the calls on non-emergency calls are valid. They can go by other means of transport. If they've been to the hospital and they're coming home, patient's cured. There's nothing wrong with them. Of course, they were bedridden on the way in. And they have no way of, they're still bedridden coming back out. But you can't use the same codes. They won't let you use the fact that the patient had a heart attack going in. Patient's not having a heart attack coming back. Why can't he go by other means of transport? May reasonably require, could possibly require monitoring. Recent heart attack, 72 hours ago. Now that would be valid. I would be able to code that out very easily. But you have to say, okay, you're saying could require, but why? They had a heart attack 72 hours ago. They're being transported back. They are at high risk for required additional monitoring. What's happening in a lot of the facilities and the EMS companies is when a patient's being discharged from the hospital, if normally they manage their own O2, they normally have it with them, but they don't have it at the hospital because they were rushed in by 911. 911 used their own oxygen going in. They don't have their own. Well, it's normal for you to just take them home by BLS non-emergency and use your oxygen. Can't do it anymore. If they're normally able of using their own oxygen, and they normally can go out and go about business using their own oxygen, they have to call for a family member to bring it in. That's also coming up. Whether it's right or not, it's going to be down to the wire as to what you're accepting for non-emergency transports. Thank God you guys don't do a lot of them. You do some favors. You do some gifts, some presents to people, granny, somebody you've known for 50 years, and you might stop off at the pharmacy and get her drugs for her too while you're doing it. But those type of people you do as presents. You're not doing it to get the insurance money. You're mostly 911. The documentation has to be so spot on that we're going to be even tougher coming back on that. The HIPAA compliance, we're going to have to work with your officers to set up a policy, procedure, and a plan of action. We're going to have to assign a PHI security officer is going to have to be assigned. In an audit situation, all the signatures that you get require signature validations. So it's one more step that they're asking you to jump through to keep your money. You have a beautiful trip sheet. You have all the documentation and it's beautiful, but nobody can read the signatures. Your signatures have to be extremely clear. If they're not clear, they must be printed at the bottom and dated. In an audit situation, we would have to send signature attestation forms, a form saying, yes, that's my signature. I signed it. I'm signing it again so that you can see they're both alike. But it's one more hoop they make you jump through. You're perfect everything, but they got to find something. So now they're going after your signatures. Anything else?
The provider's signature, or the person transporting, or
All signatures.
Everybody.
Everybody's signatures. Now the patient's signatures have to be validated as well. Now I know it doesn't look likely that you're going to have an audit, but I guarantee you in the next 2 years you will have an audit. You may never see it because it may not make it past me. I have access to your trip sheets. If Medicare calls me and says, send me this one, and this one, you may never even know that I've done it. It will be approved, but you won't hear about it for 18 months. It'll be completely out of the blue whether you pass or not. So we have to have those records right up front. We have to have the records good. We have to have legal addendums. You can't just write on it, okay, it's not an ALS, bill it as a BLS, and consider that your addendum? I don't think so. So we have quite a few changes coming on board, a lot of things that your chiefs and your officers are going to be bringing to your attention, a lot of things that you're going to have. We're hoping to get a lot more videos up and running for you so that you can just go on my website and access anything you have to.